This is a game I should have given more attention to back when I was a kid. I grew up with Mega Man Legends, but unfortunately never got far because I was really bad at it. Anyway, that's our introduction. Welcome to Keeping Busy of Mega Man Legends. I'm Zach.
And I'm Brandon. I didn't grow up with this game. It was something that I'd always had intentions of checking out, but then I finally got around to it much later on by finally getting a physical copy. I first saw Mega Man Legends on, oh gosh, I had the Mega Man Anniversary collection of like the original NES games for a GameCube. And one of the things they had on it was the game trailers retrospective of the Mega Man franchise. And in that was a clip of Mega Man Legends, and I'm like, what the hell is this? What's this 3D game? This actually looks fun. Because I unfortunately do not have... The original Mega Man games, the 2D ones, are just not really built for me. They're built for people of the NES generation. And I understand the affection people have for them, but I could never really get into them. Then I finally got around to Mega Man Legends, and I really like this game. Like, I was surprised how well it holds up. Like, I understand how some aspects of the controls may not for everybody, but both 1 and 2 I fell in love with. I fell in love with their worlds. I like how the art style is kind of cel-shaded in a way that still honestly holds up. The characters are very expressive. And I actually enjoyed both the English voice acting and just the cutscenes in general, as well as the world. It's a franchise in dire need of an update and a sequel, or at least some sort of re-release.
I'd love a remake for Mega Man Legends, yeah. If I had to point to a classic 3D game that has my favorite look, it's Mega Man Legends. Conker's kind of a close second, but with Mega Man Legends, I actually like how it plays and how it looks.
Second. Should be a Reaver bot around there somewhere. You see it?
Yeah,
Looks like a small one.
My experience with Mega Man, I've only beaten Mega Man 2. I can't be bothered to play, like, we owned the Mega Man collection on PS2. I just couldn't really be bothered to play any of them. I played and beaten 2, and I'm like, that's enough for me. I tried 3, and you know, 3 is just more Mega Man 2, but with the slide. And that's not bad, but I just kind of went, you know what, I've already beaten 2, I'm fine. I tried Mega Man 7, and I think people say that one's easier, and unfortunately I kept dying in that one for whatever reason. I was obsessed with the Mega Man X series as a kid. It was a series I could never actually play, but I heard of it, and I heard its music, and it sounded like rock on the Super Nintendo, and that really intrigued me as a kid, and I liked its art style as well. So I've always wanted to play it, and I have beaten it thanks to the SNES Classic, finally. And I think Mega Man X still holds up today. I've still got to try some of the other Mega Man X games, although I'm going to avoid 6 like the plague.
I don't like the way that looks.
Mega Man X is definitely the Mega Man game that I've gotten the farthest in. I did actually get to the final boss of X, but it did eventually trip me up, and I ran out of lives, and that was kind of it. But no, I agree with you, Zach. Like, Mega Man's one of those franchises where I love the music so much that it makes me like, oh yeah, well, I gotta get into these games. I mean, clearly there's something I'm missing here, but yeah, it's a case where I like the music, and that's kind of it. That's kind of the problem, is that the music made me want to love Mega Man, but really it's just the music that I care about, unless, of course, it's Mega Man Legends.
That's my first time ever getting caught in that prison trap. I didn't even know that was there.
Oh, by the way, that game trailer's retrospective on the Mega Man franchise that apparently was what spurred my interest in Legends. They treat Legends as a big mistake. Like, they treat it as the... Then Mega Man went to 3D and it sucked, so they didn't do it anymore.
I think I remember that, because I remember being, like, so butthurt when somebody was talking shit about Mega Man Legends. I'm like, Mega Man Legends is good. And some part of me... I'm so stupid. Some part of me was like, was it nostalgia? And then I played a little bit of it a couple years back, because you let me borrow your physical copy, which I still have. I should give that back at some point. But then I played the copy from your physical collection. No, it still holds up well. Although, actually, I can't really compare these games, But I do want to bring up that I also have experience in Battle Network, which is a series I loved and tried so hard to at least beat one of those games, and I just couldn't do it. I loved them. I thought they were great. I played 3 and 4, I think I had. And they were amazing and a lot of fun, but I was trash.
Looks like it didn't see you. It looked like
So with Battle Network, I never played any of them, but they always looked really interesting to me. I loved the concept of them, and I bought the first volume of the Mega Man NT Warrior manga, which was like which then had the anime adaptation. But I only read the first volume of the manga, and I got an action figure of the Battle Network version of Mega Man that I had as a kid, and that was it. Like, I just had those two things. And that was my only experience with Battle Network. Recently, I did pick up the full Switch collection of the franchise, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I do plan to give them a shot.
Yeah, I need to get back through the whole Battle Network series eventually. I might want to try Star Force as well. I have no idea what the hell Star Force is, besides it looks like a modern for the time, more modernized version of Battle Network. But other than that, I don't know anything about Star Force. I think that's what it's called.
What is it, Mega
Yeah, I
Man?
think you're right.
I'm picking up strong energy readings.
Mega Man Z, the Game Boy Advance series. Brandon let me borrow one back in high school. Oh, I couldn't even get to the boss of one of those stages.
Yeah, you're thinking of Mega Man Zero.
Zero, that's what it was.
He's above you. Watch out.
Yeah, I think I owned 3, and the only reason I owned a Mega Man Zero 3 is because my cousin we were trying to figure out something to get my cousin for his birthday, and we got that, and then it turns out his dad already got him it, so then I just kept it. So then I played Mega Man Zero 3, and I was like, boy, I sure love the look and the ideas of the lore of this world. Then I actually tried playing the game, and it beat my ass into dirt, and I just was done with it. And the thing is, I guess I just didn't learn, because then I picked up the Mega Man Zero collection for DS, which has 1 through 4. And I was like, okay, well, I'll start from the beginning, and I'll get into this, because I really like the idea of the world that the Mega Man Zero games take place in, this post-apocalyptic Mega Man universe. And I beat the first area, and then I tried one of the actual Robot Master-esque levels, and yeah, I couldn't beat any of them, and then I was done with that entire game.
I'm guessing you then didn't go to ZX?
No, I didn't play anything else. And I mean, when I bought these Mega Man collections, I bought the Mega Man collection, and I also got the X collection for GameCube, and I tried both of them, but I got maybe a couple levels or so into each of those games, but I never actually managed to finish any of them.
Wolf? Are you all right? Can you hear me?
Whereas I think the Legends overall has a more balanced difficulty.
Which is weird, because I couldn't get very far in Legends because I was really bad at it. There's one particular mission that always gave me so much shit as a kid. And then I tried it again as an adult and beat it on my first try. Then again, kid me didn't understand anything about video games. The more I look back on my history of playing games as a kid, I just banged my head against the wall and hoped for the best. Especially with RPGs, which is weird because RPGs were my favorite genre as a kid, but I look back and I did not understand how an RPG worked. I didn't know what stats were, and I never used stats to their full advantage. I'd play Pokemon and I focused solely on elemental weaknesses, or type advantages, I mean. Grass beats water, just use grass moves on the water Pokemon. Attack stat, I don't know what that is, I'm just going to hit them very hard. I mean, I did equip items and weapons at the very least, but that's only because the games would tell me to equip things, and I'd be like, well, this number is higher than this other number, so I'll just equip the bigger number and hope for the best. I don't think I ever really equipped stuff in Mega Man Legends, which is weird, because there is an explanation for it when you get the Power Buster, but I think my kid brain just did not understand why I would need to equip anything.
Wow.
I just like the really pretty colors, and I wanted to play a Mega Man game because I was obsessed with Mega Man X, and I was like, well, here's a 3D Mega Man. But I remember being so mad and petty over the fact that Mega Man didn't wear his helmet. Because on the back of the case for Mega Man Legends, it shows him with a helmet, but he doesn't wear one. Although, honestly, when I look back now, I really like this design of Mega Man, and I think he looks cooler without the helmet. I know the helmet is iconic.
I think he looks better with the helmet off, and I like the personality of this version of Mega Man as well.
See ya.
Yeah, I love this cutscene as a kid. I remember being like, he jumped off, oh, he lands on the ship, and then he flies up.
Until you saw like a million other movies and shows that do the same exact thing.
Look, this was my first time ever seeing this, so it was badass, alright?
Right, of course. Right, I mean, it's just exactly like the scene in Sonic 06 where Princess Elise tries to kill herself and Sonic saves her life.
Yep.
It's exactly like that.
You know, Mega Man and Sonic are both blue.
Maybe that's why I was attracted to Mega Man's design. I don't know.
For me, it was just, I don't want to call it edge. Mega Man doesn't look edgy, but there is a certain kind of badass factor to his design. He's a robot that shoots things and it goes pew-pew. And then he gets weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a cool concept in my childish mind. And I think also just me seeing how much everyone else liked it and then I couldn't play it just enticed me to it more.
Nice timing, Roll.
Anytime, Mega Man. I'm sorry, Mega Man. I had some engine problems, and...
It's okay, Roll. But I'm glad you showed up when you did.
God, I love this game's art style so much. And I love these character designs.
We should be able to get by with that for a while.
Yeah, like, I think there's a lot of people that kind of poo-poo some of the voice acting, but I mean, yeah, it sounds very much like how a lot of anime dubs sounded in the 90s, but I honestly think the inflections and the delivery of everybody in this game sounds pretty good. I like the villain a lot, too.
Yeah, it definitely gives me Saturday morning anime dub vibes, but I like that. Maybe that's nostalgia talking, but I like the...
Right.
I like the English voice acting in this game. I think it really fits the art style, and I think it fits the tone of the game. But yeah, Kid Me also really liked this cutscene a lot. I don't know, there's just something about all the cutscenes and the voice acting, the animation, just the art style. Kid Me absolutely adored this game, and it's just such a shame I was so terrible at it.
I can't do much more by myself down here. Can somebody give me a hand?
Sorry, Gramps, but my hands are a little full right now.
Roll! I see it! Land ho!
Come on, hold together. Just a little bit more. Hold on, I'm taking her down.
Right!
And from a modern perspective, in terms of the kind of media I've consumed now and my interests, I find the world of Mega Man Legends more intriguing than the world of the original NES Mega Man and that lore. And even though I do very much enjoy the comics that Archie did back in the day, it's more because this is a very nice, different take on the character. They're like scavengers that examine these old bases of old technology and scavenge up stuff, and it makes them a lot more interesting than, say, like in the original Mega Man, where he kind of feels like a slightly different alternate universe version of just like Astro Boy.
Pushing her so hard. Haven't been taking good enough care of her.
Yeah, original Mega Man just, for me, never super interested me. I mean, I think he still has a cool design, and I think especially for the area he first showed up in, he was really cool, but I much prefer X and the Legends design. And I think the Battle Network design looks really good, too. There's just so many versions of Mega Man, and then you hear Mega Man fans go like, there's just not enough Mega Man, and I'm like, excuse me? Especially for the main lines. That's a rant. I don't know if I want to go into that rant, though, because a lot of people are going to hate me for it. But I think there's enough Mega Man games.
But, Zach, they've only made 11 of them. Why can't they make a 12th?
Yeah, I remember, like, Mega Man 11 came out, and people were like, okay, when's 12 coming out? You just got 11. Do you know how many series would kill to have a third or even a second game? And Mega Man fans go, why isn't there a 12th one?
Or, you know, like in the case of this specific series, where's the third one? Which they were planning to do for DS, but then it got canned with everything else around that era of Mega Man. But yeah, I can totally see the art design of this game working well with the, you know, the kind of lower tier graphics engine of the original DS.
Oh, yeah. I could definitely see a 3DS release for Mega Man Legends 3. But yeah, I would really like a remake of Mega Man Legends. Although I would still want them to keep the style as much as possible. I know they would update it, and obviously they should update it, because a modern audience probably isn't going to play a PS1 game with just better textures, so they have to up the polygon count. But I don't know, I like the polygon count in this game. I don't know, it's just so charming to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ah, MegaMan! The police saw us crash land and came to check up on us.
Oh, you certainly put on quite a show. Looks like everyone's all right.
I remember too much of the voice acting for this game, despite... Well, I did play this one
Now,
at least, like, I think the last time I touched this game was 6 to 7 years ago. So that's not too long ago, but I could still just remember most of his voice acting just because of how much I loved this game as a kid. But yes, I was one of those kids that was like, man, I love this game, but the game was too hard for me to ever get further in it. Which does make me sometimes look at other people and raise an eyebrow. Be like, are you sure this is one of your favorite games if it also beat the shit out of you? And I look at Mega Man Legends and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it, sort of. Except for those people that say something like that one Men in Black PS1 game was like such a classic for them as a kid, and they can't even get past the second room, or whatever.
Yeah. That was the Men in Black game for PC, which played kind of like Resident Evil. Yeah, and the first room in the game has like a bomb puzzle that most players did not actually figure out. But that's another thing about nostalgia, right? Is just that there's a lot of people that they played that one Game Boy Color game and they got to like the second level, but they have good memories of riding in the car and just, you know, beating their head against the brick wall of that game's difficulty. But to me, while I have definitely those memories too, I don't look back fondly on those games very much. Or that era, really. I was just like, well, I got to this point, and then I couldn't get any farther. I still have a copy of Frogger 2 Swampy's Revenge for the Game Boy Color, where something happened when I was playing one of the levels, and it glitched my save file permanently, so whenever I open my save file, there's like no sound, and the graphics fuck up.
It's the surf bots. Sorry, I love the surf bots.
Oh yeah, they're just like the minions.
Don't even. They're much better. Although shit, they are both yellow.
But they can speak like sentences, so that does make them distinct from those minions. I like the sound design in this game too, like here where there's just no music, there's just atmosphere.
Oh, that was one other thing I wanted to bring up. I love the sound effects in this game as well. I'm probably sounding like super nostalgically obsessed, but I'm sorry, I just love this game. Like, I've definitely played games that are far better than Mega Man Legends, but this one just makes me happy. I mean, I brought that up with Klonoa as well. Klonoa also makes me happy, but I think Mega Man Legends kind of edges it out a bit on how happy it makes me, even though I've actually beaten Klonoa and I haven't beaten Mega Man Legends yet. It's time for the best thing ever. Best thing in any video game. Damn it. Where's that can?
No, it was just behind you. To the left. There it is.
There.
It's right next to the dressmaker shop, yeah.
I used to be so good at being able to kick this into the bakery and stuff, but it's been a long time. Oh, come on!
Come on, get it in there. There we go. It actually does give you a bonus. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Bunch of Zenny, too. Wow.
Yeah, I used to spend, I swear, hours just in this area. I don't know why. Okay, yeah. There's something weird you can do in one of these, if I remember correctly. Yeah, sure. No, get your own dress. Okay.
Oh, okay. Jeez. He's a robot. He won't be able to make that decision for himself. Okay.
She knows I'm a robot, but then says I'm her kind of man.
Yeah, this music track is like destined to just ingrain nostalgia into your brain if you play this game.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. It does.
Mm-hmm. So I just watched an episode. I just watched an episode of Sailor Moon that was just like all about them investigating a animation studio that's making a Sailor V movie, and the episode literally starts with that like most obvious gag where they're just like, man, they're making a Sailor V movie? Boy, it would sure be cool if they could make an anime about me. And then a Sailor Moon's cat is like, nobody would watch that. And then it cuts to the opening credits. Ah, yes, Mega Man's technically advanced world of the future with CRT TVs.
And VCRs.
And VCRs, yeah. But there is always something just that is kind of fun and enjoyable about these kind of retro future worlds where they're still using technology of that era, even though it is very much, you know, a future.
Yeah, it's like the developers couldn't think of anything more futuristic than a VCR.
Yeah, they had other world building they were more concerned with.
There it is. I knew there was something weird you could find. There's some dirty magazines on the racks. Might be fun to look at them. But there's so many people around. You get in trouble if someone saw you. Rated E.
Oh my god, I never found that before.
What? It wouldn't be an anime game unless there was a joke about dirty magazines. Alright, we should actually make some progress. I gotta find the junk shop.
Yeah, it's amazing just in this first hub area just how many things there are to explore. Like, it's a small area, but it's very compact.
No, it's right here. I do also just like, you were talking about world building and lore. There's just something about worlds where people being adventurers and adventuring for money being common just interests me so much. Like, usually, like, sometimes I'll just think about RPG worlds at work, and sometimes, like, I'll usually think of the basic minimum wage job not being, like, a retail worker, but just being your common monster slayer. And just people going out in parties being like, I gotta slay some slimes today. Work the 9 to 5.
The new series, Delicious in Dungeon, is sort of like that. Well, new as of this recording, anyway.
I love this monkey, by the way.
He's always doing that dance.
I don't know what it is about the dance that amuses me a lot. Some people might be wondering, is there anything you don't like about this game? Not off the top of my head. I'm sure maybe there'll be a level later on that'll annoy the fuck out of me, but for right now, I never got to that point. I mean, I guess the controls
I'm not totally
like,
sold. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, the controls are outdated. They're not awful. I think the lock-on does a lot to help. But man, this turn speed is slow.
Yeah, so you were talking about a remake. I mean, I imagine it'd be more likely that Capcom would do like a remaster of this game or something, but like that's the main thing that I would change is, you know, have like a modern control scheme option. Like still keep an option to play the game as it was originally made, but, you know, actually use that right analog stick that you now have.
Yeah, I'm using an Xbox controller, and the analog sticks are just begging me to touch them, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. This game doesn't let me. I would also like to be able to lock on and move at the same time. Oh, I forgot I could aim like this. But yeah, being able to lock on and move would just be great.
Yeah, I wonder if it would make the game too easy once you, like, actually give it modern controls.
Yeah, maybe. Some games are kind of designed around the limitations of awkward controls. But I guess at that point, you would just design the enemies to be a bit more modern.
Yeah. You were talking about your love of this game's sound effects. For whatever reason, I find the sound of Mega Man's footsteps in this game surprisingly satisfying.
Same! This game tickles me in all the right places.
And because it is a real lived-in world that you're actually exploring, like, hubs and stuff, to me it just gives it a lot more personality than a lot of the other entries in the other franchises, because they're just kind of, more often, just straight levels.
Yeah, I can agree. I think that's probably what attracted me to this game so much. Also, I just now realized 2 games that I used to be super obsessed over. Another one that I was super obsessed over for the longest time, and it kind of still am in some ways, is Dead Rising, and both Mega Man Legends and Dead Rising have serve bots. Well, Dead Rising has serve bot references, but...
They have the same director as well, Zach.
Oh, yeah, I thought they did.
Yeah, the director of Mega Man Legends would go on to direct all of the Mega Man Zero games and all of the Dead Rising games up to Off the Record.
Okay, so he wasn't involved with 4. I guess that's a good thing, because I wouldn't want that guy to be involved with 4.
No, or 3.
Although I guess that guy not being involved with 3 or 4 is kind of what led them to be that way.
I should say that he didn't direct 2, like, the main version of 2. He primarily directed, like, the DLC stuff and also, and also Off the Record. But I would imagine that the majority of Dead Rising 2's development was handled by, you know, that team in Canada that made that era of the franchise. But I think it's neat that they brought him back on to direct the off-the-record version, which I still need to play.
I forgot you could say your name was Hippopotamus. Oh yeah, she said we could have the car. I promise I'm not kicking the can anymore. Spent too much time doing that already.
MegaMan, were you able to find anything? Oh. If you can't find any parts in town, I guess we'll have to try digging for them ourselves.
That's what the man at the junk store said.
That might take a while. Which means... Huh? MegaMan, what's that? It looks like a weapons upgrade module.
Oh, this? Yeah, the junk store man gave it to me. He said we could use this car to hook it up.
You mean we can use this car? Well, come on then. Let's get it attached right away. There, it's ready. This weapon lets you use landmines. Just drop them in front of an oncoming enemy and boom! Just remember, there's a limited number of mines, so make sure you use them sparingly. Do you want me to explain what this weapon does again? I'll get to work on fixing this car up. I'll be able to help you out and maybe spot for you if I can get it running again.
I remember one of the big thoughts I had when I first played through this game was thinking about other games or other like series that transitioned from 2D to 3D and tried to do like a lived-in hub world and everything. And when I played this, my reaction was, wow, this game is like what Sonic Adventure wanted to be.
Now you'll be able to use the city gates.
In terms of just feeling much more like a lived-in space that feels consistent and well-designed. I don't think I feel like Station Square feels like a weird... I mean, it definitely helps with the world building of that game, but isn't necessary to it. I think some people would say yes, but I definitely feel like the hub and the world in Mega Man Legends makes more sense with the design of how its levels are laid out.
Will he be all right?
Well, I'm sure he's heard the announcements about the pirates. If I see him, I'll make sure he gets to a safe place. If you'll excuse me.
I'm worried about Gramps. I hope he'll be okay.
I'll go look for him. You wait here.
Okay, Mega Man. Be careful.
I guess to elaborate on that, the way I would put it is like how in this game when you're going to levels or fighting bosses, they're kind of set around the areas you've already been exploring or just areas that make sense logically within this world. And yeah, like some of the boss fights in Sonic Adventure do take place in the city or in Mystic Ruins, and it makes sense in that place. But the levels in Sonic Adventure don't really make a lot of sense to me. Besides, like, I guess, what's the name of that one? Well, the one where you're inside the big temple inside the Mystic Ruins. That level makes sense of being like this big booby-trapped place. But for the most part, it makes about as much sense as a lot of times as like the Super Mario 64 paintings. Whereas here, I feel like this world makes more sense to me.
Oh, I completely forgot about sneaking around.
This game is stealth!
I don't need to read the instructions again. I completely forgot about this. Oh, so I don't know how sneaking up's supposed to work. That guy is looking straight at me.
Right.
The part I was hoping to get to is the moment where you fight those 3 pirate robots in the city. Not the one when they're attacking the mayor's office, but when they're attacking, like, the first section of the city. I was hoping to get to that, but I forgot how long it takes to get there. So we're probably going to be stopping here really soon.
And Zach, that boss fight is actually the part where I got stuck
Once the decision's made,
for a while.
no turning back. Nothing less than 100%. And remember, it's more than just guns and ships. Whoever has the most information that wins, right?
Right, we understand. You need to keep your costs and risks as low as possible.
As possible and stay on schedule.
That's right.
Sorry, I don't know how the hell I remember all of this so vividly.
What are you looking at?
I beat Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, loved them, then I tried the Misadventures of Tron Bonne, and I didn't really like it very much.
That was a minigame collection or something, right?
Sort of, yeah. You're like trying to build up money, I think, and you're doing a bunch of like different mini games to do it, and I didn't really care for them. Maybe I'll get back to it one day, but I much prefer the more straightforward action RPG design of Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, I think I do agree with you that Mega Man Legends City, like Cadillac Island in general, looks better than Station Square and Sonic Adventure. But I'll admit I do have a soft spot for Sonic Adventure. For whatever reason, again, the hub area, Station Square of Sonic Adventure, was just a fun place for me to explore. Like, honestly, exploring Station Square is a lot more fun to me than, like, even playing as some of the characters, like Gamma.
No, I know what you mean. Like, I mean, and I have far more nostalgia for Sonic Adventure, obviously, but Mega Man just makes way more sense in this world than Sonic made sense in this city talking to human beings.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what I kind of liked about the Sonic OVA, is that they explained it kind of like it's this city of almost like animal-human hybrid people, and they sort of live in the ruins of what used to be like a past civilization. Like, that all seemed kind of fascinating and actually a much cooler way to take Sonic in terms of world building, but yeah, they never really took anything really from the OVA. It's either always humans or always animal people. Dog does not know what to do with itself. It's too excited.
It's excited because it's in a game called Mega Man Legends. I'd be excited too. But alright, okay. This time for real, we're done. So enjoy your day and enjoy the frozen dancing monkey.
Yes. In classic PlayStation 1 loading fashion.